Hello, welcome back to our channel. Today we are doing a middle of the week box braids on my daughter natural hair. As you can see, she has very thick, long hair, and she's very tender-headed. So I do a very different kind of method. Now I do use this Shine and Jam gel. It's for edges. So I use this for everything during the whole process. I use it to put on the side of her edges as well as on top of her hair. This keeps her hair together and kind of mesh with the hair that I'm putting in. Now she has natural hair. She's also very tender-headed. So I only did the parts in the front. And so the back in the middle does not have parts. I don't use stress about having straight parts because she's so tender-headed. So I just do one section at a time. I just grab the hair with my fingers and just pull it apart. It's already detangled and greased and shampooed and combed. So we did that yesterday. It has to be a 2-day part. We cannot do that all together. Yes, but anyway, I just use rubber band. These are oiled, and so I don't do it tight. I just wrap it around like, 2 or 3 times. I don't want it tight. I don't want it breaking her hair. And so once I put the hair in the rubber band, I do not tighten it. I just leave it how it is. You see how I just leave it? And so I just go on to the next one and I just use my fingers. Again, I do not have it tight at all. I just use my fingers and I put the rubber band on about 2-3 times around. And yeah, you definitely do not want to have rubber bands breaking off hair when it's in a protective braiding style, such as like box braids. Now, when you have box braids, you usually keep them for like 1 to 2 months. So by them not being tight, this probably is going to last for a month, maybe a month and a half if she keep it really wrapped up every single night. But it's, really good to do a quick hairstyle, protective hairstyle that you don't have to worry about, putting heat to the hair or braiding it or touching it every day. So it's a good style for her. Now, the fact that we had to do this in the middle of the week, that's a whole different story. But, we take our time, 2-day process, and that's how we have to get through it. Now, I do the bottom row, and now the bottom row is completed. It's 4 braids down there. And like I said, I don't pay attention to the parts. The parts is not a big deal for me. We can definitely move on with life. Now, I do like to have the hair completely detangled when I do put the hair in the rubber bands. I do like to have it completely detangled. So you see her ends. I like to brush out her ends with a detangled brush to make sure everything is fully detangled. So when I'm braiding that hair and it's in that rubber band and it's under that protective hairstyle, it's not matted and tangled up. And so I want to keep her hair healthy as much as I can. So I definitely make sure it's detangled and make sure it's greased and everything. So I'm using the same product, that Shine and Jam. It is thebomb.com. I use that on the edges and on top of her hair. And so it's nice and light. It doesn't flake up. And I put that throughout the whole entire hair during the whole process. And so at this point, I just, use the hair to make sure it is fully brushed and sleeked down so it can blend in good with the other hair. And so I just take my time with it. Like I said, she is very tender-headed, and so I don't want to hurt her because it is a miserable time for me and her. So I just brush her hair and just make sure it's detangled as much as possible. I use my fingers. I do not, try to rush it. Now, if this part was really tangled, I would just brush it and go through it again. But I just use my fingers. It should be able to, go through your fingers just like that. It's very easy. If it's still kind of kinky and it won't go through your fingers, that means you need to brush and comb some more. But I did detangle her hair really good, so it was able to go through. We're not going to worry about these parts, girl. We're just going to keep on going. As long as it's detangled, that's fine. So I use the same method. I will use the rubber bands that is in oil, that I put the rubber bands in oil, and I put them in her hair. Again, I only wrap it 2-3 times. I do not make it tight because it's hard to sleep in, as well as move the braids after it's done. So it's very important to not have tight rubber bands. And so I just repeat this method through and through. And I'll let you guys watch and see exactly how I do it. Now we have all of the rubber bands in. As you can see, I probably have like 26, I think it was like 28 rubber band sections that I had, and it was all over. And so I was like, okay, now this tell you how much hair you need to have, how much hair to put to the side. So that's exactly why I like to put them all in rubber bands first. Some people like to do it and go, but I like to have them all in rubber bands first. All right, and so now I take the same shine and jam and put it all on top of her hair, and her ends especially. Put it all on her hair so her hair can match well with the hair. I use my crochet hook, and I just slide it into her hair. It doesn't hurt her because the rubber bands are not tight. It slides through. And then I take my hair that's already pre-sectioned, and I put it into my crochet hook. And then I close the hook to lock it. You slide it right through. It does not hurt her. I put one finger in and pull out one side. And so it's like seesaw. It just go one side on the other. I do not tighten the hair. I do not tighten that rubber band. I just cross it over and I just braid it down. And you can just use the jam to blend the hair. You just take your time and just make sure you braid it tightly. Not the rubber band tight, but just like closely braid so it's not sticking any parts out. And so you just definitely just braid it too. You see, I messed up right there at that part. I like to have it really nice and neat. I mean, we don't have parts, so I can at least have my braids looking neat, child. So I just use a little bit more jam so that her hair can kind of blend in just a little bit more because her hair is so thick. It's kind of hard to have her hair blend in, but with that shine and jam, it does a really good job. And so I tried to show a good clip here, you guys, to see, so you guys can see how it's braided. But it's just a regular braid. I'm not doing nothing special. You just braid it with the other hair. You have two sections. One section is her actual hair and the other section is the braiding hair. And so you just braid it down. Like I said, you just braid it tight so that way it can look nice and neat. And yeah, so that way the whole entire time you can keep control of the braid. I wasn't pulling on her hair. Trust me, if I was, she would let me know. So I definitely was not pulling on her hair. This hair was pretty long and it kept getting tangled up. I did not show you guys what hair I use, but I will show you guys. Let me know if you want to watch more of these videos. I do her hair very often. I am the only one that does her hair because she's so tender-headed. So let me know if you want to see more of these videos and I can go more in detail of exactly how I do it and what kind of products I use. So that way you can know how to do tender-headed natural hair girls, especially box braids, because that's what's popular and what's in style now. So this is all what every girl wants to see, wants to have done. So again, I just repeat that same method with a crochet hook. I place it underneath the rubber band and then I get the hair and I place the hair inside of the crochet hook. I lock the hook and pull it to the other side. You put your finger through the loop and then you pull the other piece of hair. Again, it's not hurting her because she can barely feel it. Do not tighten that rubber band. And you just put the shine and jam on top of their hair so their hair can blend in nice and neatly. And then at that point, you just place it on, especially on their ends, on their whole entire hair. So like I said, so it can all blend in. You cross over the hair. That's like your tie. And then you just started braiding. So you just braid. You don't have to, you can make your braid tight, but you do not have to tighten that rubber band. You do not have to make the hair on there tight. If the rubber band pops underneath, that's fine because the hair is being braided. So it's not going to go anywhere. You're not going to lose that braid. And so trust me, if this tender-haired person can go through this, any tender-haired person can go through this. She is extremely tender-headed, you guys. And so I just try to find ways that she can still have the popular hairstyle and not have to have any tears to go through it. So yes, at this point, how long it took for me to do this last row, I take my time, especially with her. And it probably took me about 4 hours the whole entire hairstyle. But we got the last row done. As you can see, if you know anything about box braids, it's a tedious task. But with this method, you can move it around. So that way, anybody, if you know about box braids, move it around like that will hurt. So for me to be able to move that around and without her flinch is good. So we're probably about halfway through her hair. And so it's coming along. And so I wanted to get a good angle for you guys to be able to see the braiding part. And so I want to, let's see, you watch this part here. All right, so this is the last braid. This is celebration time. My daughter said this is like her favorite part of getting her hair done is when I'm on the last braid and I tell her dad like to go get the water ready. Just like, it's like the final victory lap, like the last one. I did check and see. So this style did take me in exactly 4 hours to do her entire head from the time that we did the rubber bands to braiding. And so that's not bad. You can split it up into 2 days if you don't want to do it all in one day. I know I did. And so, but this was a cute style, you guys. It's something that she's be able to do in different methods, different hairstyle methods. And she's going to be able to keep this, like I said, for like at least a month and a half. We don't have to worry about doing her hair in the middle of the week. She's in dance and everything, and so she sweats and needs to do different hairstyles. But it came out very cute, you guys. I love the way it came out. I love the way it looked on her. I was able to move it around, and like I said, getting box braids done and be able to move it around like that without it hurting, that is because of the method, because I didn't stress about the parts. I did not tighten those rubber bands. And so that's how I was able to move it around and not to let it hurt her. We did do the parts in the front so that way she could do her styles and look cute in the front. But that middle and back, baby, now worry about them parts. You can't even see them anyway. So right now we're putting the hair into hot water so it can set And this hair actually gets crinkly at the ends after you set it in hot water. So we just do like a little bit at a time. Thanks to Daddy, holding the hot water. But you just dip the hot water in there for a few seconds. It don't have to be that long. And so you just take a towel and you just take the hair and just grab it and take it out of the hot water and just dry it. You don't have to do nothing special. You just dry it and try not to burn yourself, child. That's why I say this is a two-man effort. And so at the end of doing all of her hair dipped in hot water is set to braid, and now it's crinkly at the ends, you can see. But it just came out so cute, you guys. I was so proud of myself. I'm like, yay me. But you can see we was done. I didn't really do her edges, but the rubber bands are not tight, so she'll be able to do them in the morning. But I was able to do her hair. It's crinkly at the back. Was able to move around. She was able to do a different hairstyle in the morning. So it came out really cute. Only thing she has to do is just wrap it up. But again, I'm glad that she likes it and I was able to do that for her. If you guys want to see more videos like this, definitely comment down below. Don't forget to share, comment, like, and subscribe. And thank you again for watching. Have a good night, you guys. Until next time, peace.